the Vice Chancellor, the distinguished, delectable, and beautiful Professor Lydia Mwetinya Salami, here represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Ray Osolwa, other principal officers of the university, provosts, deans, and directors, professors emeriti, other professors and scholars here present, top government functionaries, your royal highnesses, gentlemen of the press, staff, invited guests, and greatest university students. I welcome every one of you to today's inaugural lecture. This is the 279th inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. To be delivered by Professor Clement Atewe Ighodaro. He is a worthy professor of development economics and applied econometrics. This is the present dean of students of this great university. Great institution. We will be treating the topic Nigerian paradoxes, implications of economic and sustainable econometrics. This is the present day and our student of this great university, the Deputy Registrar of the Chancellorship Department, Mr. Monday, to introduce the Vice Chancellor and then the President of the Nigeria.
Thank you. very important as the final stop, and thereafter also Minister and Ighodaro, one of the local government area. That is primary school education. He attended the prestigious medical college where he had his West African continued in the same school to obtain his higher school certificate which established in 1996 of the admission and graduated with bachelor degree in chemistry in 1997. He did his particularly 1 year national youth service and government secondary. He attended the prestigious It's a local breed, isn't it? BSc, Benin. MSc, Benin. MBA, Benin. PhD, Benin. What else again? Same 2008, Professor Ighodaro left the services of NABDEM and joined the Department of Economics, University of Lagos, as lecturer 2. On 1st December 2010, he joined the services of the University of Benin as lecturer 1, Department of Economics and Statistics, as it was then, now Department of Economics. Professor Ighodaro rose through the ranks to the position of professor on 1st October 2020. His primary research interests are in the areas of development and applied econometrics, macroeconomics, and mathematical economics. He has held several academic and administrative positions within and outside the University of Benin, some of which are these: the Faculty of Social Sciences Representative, Central Entrance Examinations Committee. He's been Faculty of Social Sciences Representative, University Admissions Board. He's been Seminar Coordinator for Postgraduate Program in that Department of Economics. He's been member of the Committee on Part-Time Programs. He's been member Joint University Preliminary Examinations Board, properly called PED, of the University of Benin. He's been head Department of Economics for a record of 5 years, 2017 to June 2022, as I see it here. I think that should receive applause. And then, Dean of Students. From February 2022 till date, Professor Ighodaro has rendered local, national, and international consultancy services. For example, he's been consultant to the 30-year development plan of Edo State, the economic sector. He's been consultant the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, new map of Edo State. That's the one controlling erosion. He's been consultant to USAID, an African lead on food security in Africa. He's been consultant Interministerial Technical Committee on the production of the 2010 Millennium Development Goals Report for Nigeria, that's sponsored by UNDP. I thought that should have I said that I should interject that after now, we have to charge Professor Ighodaro 10% of the consultancy ought to come to the University of Benin. We have not seen any of this. So, Bossa, please take note. Alright, so the next time he's paying his salary will be not. Professor Ighodaro belongs to several professional bodies and associations, such as his member Nigerian Economic Society, member Africa Economic Research Consortium, Nairobi, Kenya. He's a fellow of the Africa Academic Network, a member Physical and Financial Economic Society of Nigeria, member editorial board of the Chartered Institute of Bankers based in Lagos. He has served as external examiner to several universities within and outside the country. He has also earned several awards, which I just mentioned to the African Economic Research Consortium PhD Scholarship 2003 and the Africa Economic Research Consortium Thesis Writing Grant Award 2005. Distinguished audience, Professor Ighodaro has over 82 publications. National and international journals. He has authored 2 textbooks of mathematics economics and has contributed chapters to textbooks as well. He has attended several local and international conferences and has successfully supervised 6 PhD theses and more than 25 master's theses and projects. Professor Ighodaro loves traveling and watching wrestling. I'm looking at him close there. I started imagining somebody called Mighty Eagle. He is happily married to his heartthrob, Dr. Mrs. Augustina. And their union is blessed with children. Distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to, on behalf of Madam Vice Chancellor, invite Professor Clement Atewe Ighodaro.
What do you know of this man? Please, you can go and sit at the front. There are spaces at the front. Can you be telling the staff that you are blocking?
Ably represented by ECC Akar, Professor Bri Ozora. Principal officers of the university, deans and directors, greatest university students, articulate university students, great. Thank you very much. God bless you. Other protocols during observed. Preamble. Madam Vice Chancellor, ma'am, it is with great joy I stand before you all today to deliver the 279th inaugural lecture of the University of Benin. I am most grateful to Madam Vice Chancellor and your management team for giving me the opportunity to deliver this lecture. Thank you very much. I remain grateful to somebody here, Professor Mrs. C.E.E. Okoji. Can you please stand up for recognition? That is Professor C.E.E. Okoji, popularly called Madam. If you graduated from economics department, you were not opportune to be taught by Madam. You did not do economics. True or false? Thank you very much, Madam. She stimulated my interest in development economics. She took me to the path of the course. She She taught me Echo 111. 311. She taught me Echo 323. She taught me Echo 417, Echo 818, and Echo 816 and 826. She would have taught me my PhD program, the same development I was around it somewhere else. I also thank all my lecturers present here today. They all taught me at different levels. God bless you all. Madam Vice Chancellor, ma'am, I decided to write on the topic, the Nigeria's paradoxes, implications of public corruption for sustainable economic growth and development, because corruption is almost a way of life in Nigeria. Therefore, we need to fully address its corrosive effects in order to achieve sustainable economic growth and development. We all agree with me that Nigeria is endowed with both human resources and material resources and other natural resources we can think of. For example, as at 2022, the population of Nigeria, I'll use the word was, about 220 million, which means that the present time should be more than that figure. This is an estimated figure for that year. And among the 220 million population, about 70% of our population are youth. And we know the implication of having more youths in the population. Nigeria is also endowed with about 209.5 trillion cubic feet of gas as of January 1st, 2022. Nigeria is also the largest producer of crude oil in Africa. She is also the 11th producer of crude oil in the world as of November 2020. Nigeria has also been proven to have crude oil reserve of about 37.046 billion barrels as of 2022. Despite these huge natural resources, despite these huge human resources, Nigeria exhibits significant development efforts with mixed results and glaring paradoxes. The country is characterized by the following. 1. Low revenue generating capacity. We also have food crisis in Nigeria, which means most people are hungry. Apart from that, the level of insecurity is very high. We have high poverty level, true or false? We have high rate of inflation. Today, inflation is about 22.02% by government figure. And there is also high level of corruption, which forms the crux of our paper today. The lack of significant progress and development in the Nigerian society may be the repercussion of increasing scale of corruption since independence, meaning that corruption did not just start today. Corruption started right from in the 50s, as we will soon see in the lecture. Corruption is a virus that has sucked and drank the health of Nigeria. When corruption thrives, poverty, criminality, and hunger thrive. Wealth is greedily grabbed by corrupt agents, leaving the poor to remain poorer. In Nigeria, between 1960 and 1970s, the agricultural sector accounted for over 75% of foreign exchange earning, 68% of GDP, and more than 65% of job opportunities. What we are saying here is that in the early 70s, even in the 60s, the mainstay of Nigeria economy was agriculture. But since the discovery of oil in 1970s, agriculture has been neglected, and this ushered in industrialization. But the industrialization that we also ushered in, well, if you look at the paper, the capacity utilization in Nigeria is also very low. As at 1980, The oil sector accounted for 29.10% of GDP, about 80% of government revenue, and over 90% of export earnings. Between 2015 and 2021, the contribution of the oil sector to GDP fell from 10.44% to 7.70%. The reasons for this is simple. Either because of crude oil theft, we are all aware some time ago where we saw a very big pipe that was connected to the high sea, and those were huge leakages to the government. And of course, another reason for the low performance of the oil sector is the non-maintenance of the entire refineries we have in Nigeria. The financial sector. In 2020, during the COVID-19 era, interest rate in the financial sector was reduced from 9% to 5%. Reasons for which the sector contributed to the country's economic growth. First, in 2020, the contribution of finance and insurance to the real GDP was 2.67%. The transportation sector, specifically the road sector. As at 2022, only 30% of the roads in Nigeria are tarred. Only 30%. Whereas 80% of roads, or the roads in Malaysia, are tarred. And in China, we have 62%. So the bad state of some of the roads in Nigeria is of great concern. That is why NPS in 2021, in collaboration with the Federal Road Safety Commission, noted that between 2013 and 2020, at least about 41,709 persons lost their lives to road crashes in Nigeria. That number is very, very significant. For a country to lose about 41,000 people in about 8 years, it is not a joke. Now let's look at the aviation industry. The defunct Nigerian Airways was established in 1958, and before it collapsed in 2003, it had 62 aircraft. I'm sure you will all agree with me. For somebody to be working in Nigerian Airways then is a very prestigious job. Men putting on that badge, you know what it means. However, due to corruption and mismanagement, as of 1985, about 1,700 jobs were lost in Nigerian Airways. In 1986, about 1,000 jobs were also lost. And in 1988, about 3,000 staff were dismissed from the Nigerian Airways. No wonder we have the huge volume of unemployment today in Nigeria. It did not just start today, it started from the 80s down. In the late 1987, Nigerian Airways had accumulated debt of about $250 million. At present, Nigeria has no air carrier due to overstaffing, mismanagement, and corruption. Though we heard in the news yesterday or today that they are going to launch Nigerian Air tomorrow. I hope they didn't see this paper before they said that. And before now, we had Virgin Nigeria. They didn't stand the test of time. Let us also hope that Nigerian Air will stand the test of time. But somehow we call Nigeria the giant of Africa. Ethiopian Airline is fully owned by the government of Ethiopia. They had 118 planes as of 2021. And in 2022, the planes has increased to 130. Why can't Nigeria government do like Ethiopia government? They could have as well used their model so that we also have our own air carrier. Let's look at economic growth and development in Nigeria. Economic practitioners and non-economic practitioners, they conceptualize growth and development as the same thing. But technically speaking, they are not the same. Madam, Professor Mrs. Okoji, you taught us this at our different levels, development economics. Economic growth is simply increase in size. When we say increase in size, sometimes we hear government says economy has improved from 2% to 3%, from 3% to 4% to 5%. What are they talking about? They are talking about economic growth. But economic development is growth plus change. Put differently, a country may be growing, but such country may not be developing. It means that your GDP may be increasing while your institutions are not improving. The schools are not improving. Roads are not improving. There is corruption here and there. So when you have that, you say the country is not developed. Assuming institutions are improving, we have good roads, we have things, infrastructure that are good in the country, we say such country is developed. So that is why some authors agree that Nigeria is a country that is growing, but it is not developing. Now, we have what we call Human Development Index. Human Development Index is a summary measure of human development. Now, if you look at the bar graph we have there, the Human Development Index of Nigeria is about 51.4%. We are looking at just African countries. We are not looking at outside countries, like countries outside Africa. Botswana has 55% of Human Development Index. Ghana, that is close to us here, we say small Ghana. Human Development Index in Ghana is about 63.2%. Then that of Seychelles, one of the greatest countries in Africa, their Human Development Index is about 79%. That of Mauritius is 80.2%, and South Africa 71.3%. Now, what is the implication of low HDI for Nigeria? It means that we have limited resources to choose from. That is, our choices are limited. You want to do this, you want to do this, you may not have the finance to do it. Apart from that, it also shows the critical development challenges faced by Nigeria. That is the country. Let us look at life expectancy. Life expectancy, how many years are we likely to stay on earth before we die? We have compared Nigeria with other developed countries. If you look at the bar graph there, it's self-explanatory. For example, in Nigeria, average life expectancy is 56 years, that's 55.75. This is even 2023 figure, which means that at age 56, on the average, we are likely to die in Nigeria. It is not God forbid, this has been statistically proven. The statistics went further to show that men are likely to die before women. And not we also say God forbid. But if you look at countries like China, average life expectancy in China is about 7.47 years, which means that at age 60, you can still plan your life. In India, average life expectancy is 70.42 years. And if you look at all these countries, USA is about 79 years. But in Japan, average life expectancy is about 85.03%, which means that on the average, people die in Japan when they get to at least 85 years. Whereas in the UK, people also die at least when they are 82 years, which is 81.77 years. And the reason for low life expectancy in Nigeria is very clear. It's very clear. Some of the reasons are, one, road accidents. You saw the number of people that died 7 years ago, over 7 years from road accidents because of bad road, bad governance, corruption. We also have extreme poverty. When you are poor, you don't have money to do whatever you want to do. When you are poor, you don't have money to go for good medication. Apart from that, there are also health challenges like malaria. We have mosquitoes everywhere. And most painful heart-related diseases. Not that we actually pray for such, but when you are poor, you won't have money to take care of your health. And when you are thinking, there are some people, to be honest with you, for good, they run 001, some run 101. We only heard about that when we were in the university. It's true of us. But today, an average civil service man talks about 001, 100. Some people run 00, then 21.5, well 05. Madam Vice Chancellor, low life expectancy may affect the productive capacity of a country and consequently low GDP growth rates. Adult literacy rates. What is adult literacy rates? It's simply the number of people that can read and write in a country. If you also look at the countries compared here, adult literacy rate in Nigeria is about 62%. Clap for Nigeria. In Sweden, 99%, which means that almost everybody in Sweden can read and write. In Mexico, 95%. And in Brazil, 93%. And these are some of the countries we say, some of us say want to Japa, come and go to Brazil, God forbid that. You can see the adult literacy rate there is very high, comparative to that of Nigeria. Which means that about 38% of people in Nigeria cannot read and write. And it is the truth. These are statistical facts. Now, let us look at the crux of this paper, corruption. Corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct. Nepotism, favoritism, extortion, bribery, etc. are all linked towards corruption. Corruption can be looked at from two perspectives. We have micro corruption and macro corruption. And we have given some examples here of micro corruption. Our generation may not know of this even if we hear of it. But the present generation know what we call miracle center. You know, my experience in examination body clearly depicts this. Where people go to class 1, well, JSS 1, 2, 3, 4, then they'll go to allow that group of school to go and write their exams. So we go to Edo College, class 1 or JSS 1 to SS 2. From SS 3, they go to Ighodaro group of school to go and write their WAEC exam. And what do they do then? They do all manner of cheating and they call it Miracle Center. That is why I was interacting with the students when I was HOD. He wanted to change from economics to social work. Economics was too tough for him. But when I looked at his result, he had 6 A's, including economics. I just took the result and said, what is the name of your principal? Or where did you write your exam? He said, you know as it is now. Another person too, funny enough, had A3 in physics. The other one had C5. The guy that had C5 said, if I knew, I didn't answer that compulsory question. Probably I would have got A1 or A2. The guy that had A3 said, was there compulsory question? So those are some of the implications of writing exam in Miracle Center. Also importantly, we have fake miracles in worship places. We know what we are talking about. Sometimes too, when you go to some hospitals, government hospitals, because sometimes there, we prefer to talk to the patient, say, come to my hospital, Ighodaro clinic, and can take care of you better. You know, those are income leakages to government. And apart from that, the use of fake vehicle parts by mechanics, even some of those people that use chemical to ripen pawpaw and ripen mango and use chemical to change oil, they are all practicing corruption at micro level. Now, in Nigeria, or in this paper, what we are concerned with is corruption at macro level. That is public sector corruption. Transparency International has consistently listed Nigeria among the most corrupt nations in the world. In year 2000, studies was carried out by Transparency International. Out of the 90 countries studied, Nigeria was the most corrupt country. They took 90th position out of 90. In 2004, they studied 145 countries, also Transparency International. Nigeria took 144th position, meaning that they were only one country. In 2021, out of 180 countries, Nigeria beefed up a little. They came out 154th position. Now, if you have that pamphlet there, that booklet there, I have tried to give a chronology of corruption from 1950s, during the time of Awolowo and Azikiwe, to date. But because of limited time, we are just going to take some cases of corruption and alleged corruption in Nigeria. When General Buhari / Ighodaro when they took over from the Shagaris administration in 1983, I'm sure we all remember the time of Buhari Ighodaro's regime, where all of us queued up to buy sweets, to buy peppermint, war against indiscipline. I need to tell you today that many state governors were sentenced to jail term for a minimum period of 100 years and a maximum period of 340 years due to corrupt practices. You all agree with me, some governors almost lost their lives in jail. Furthermore, in 2015, February specifically, under Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's regime, about 62,893 ghost workers were discovered from some MDAs, which means that their salary that amounted to 208.7 billion would have been taken to private pockets. In 2016, when President Muhammadu Buhari, also as the President of Nigeria, Clement, Vice Minister then, discovered another 23,846 ghost workers from NPA's payroll. As a result, the federal government saved about 2.29 billion naira. These are money that would have gone into what? Private pockets. Some of you will agree with me today. As a lecturer, you want to build a status house. It is 1 block, 1 year. 2 of us, or 2 blocks, 1 year. But if you go to Abuja, you see high-rising upstairs. These are money belonging to you and I that are used to build some of those high-rise. In March 2018, data from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation revealed that there were about 80,150 ghost officers in the payroll of the Nigerian police force. Meaning that these 80,000, more than 80,000 staff, the salary that would have been paid to them will be taken into private pockets. You also remember in 2018, the story of a mystery snake that went into JAMB office and swallowed the sum of 36 million naira. That happened in JAMB office in Macaulay. These are corruption in high places of government. This is funny. The retired former chief of air staff was arrested and detained by the EFCC in January 27, 2016 over the procurement of 2 second-hand helicopters at the cost of $136.9 million. We are not looking at naira. $136.9 million. Listen, meanwhile, the brand new unit of such helicopter cost about $30 million. The outstanding sum of $106.9 million naira, which is about 38 billion naira, was unaccounted for. Yet there is hunger in the land. Furthermore, the ICPC chairman, Professor Bolaji Obasanjoye, on Thursday, 16 September 2021, noted that the 2021 and 2022 budgets were padded by 13.59 trillion naira and 17.12 trillion naira, respectively, by various MDAs in Nigeria. And the duplicated projects amounted to about 300 billion naira and 100 billion naira, respectively. This money would have also entered into private pockets. This is also interesting. The late Mr. DSP Olimasiya, ex-governor of Bayelsa State, was sentenced to 2 years in jail in 2017 on charges of corruption and money laundering. Ricardo, 2009, noted that the late ex-governor had the following assets: 1 person in Nigeria, 4 properties in London valued at the sum of £10 million. He also had a property in Cape Town valued at $1.2 million. Funny enough, about £1 million in cash was found in his bedroom in his apartment in London. £2 million was restrained at the Royal Bank of Scotland in London, and over $240 million in Nigeria. 1 person. His bank accounts were traced to Cyprus, Denmark, USA, and the Bahamas. Me standing here, I only have 2 accounts: First Bank and First Bank. Now, the ICPC arrested former registrar CEO of JAM, Professor Ighodaro, for giving out contract of about 900 million naira. What was it for? For the supply of pencil, the one we call pencil, and eraser, the one we call cleaner. Between 2013 and 2014, each of them cost 450 million. He also opened a radio station for about with the sum of 50 million naira, which was diverted from the examination body. Based on this, some of his assets were seized, including schools, police stations, houses located in different parts of the Ilorin, Kwara State, Ibadan, Ogbomoso, in Oyo State, Ile-Ife, Osun, Abuja. I only have 1 house in Ogun. Economic implications of corruption. In many ways, corruption manifests, it leaves a painful trail of failures. Failure of public promises, failure of public trust, failure of public institutions, failure of public infrastructure, among others. Corruption leads to the inability of the state to provide jobs for its citizens, leading to rise in crime and criminality in the society. Corruption diminishes national prestige and respect. It can lead to civil unrest, business failure and employment, election rigging, absence of rule of law, failure of government institutions, and tax revenue reduction. Corruption diminishes national prestige and respect. It can lead to civil unrest, business failure, and unemployment, election rigging, absence of the law and order, and failure of government institutions and tax revenue reduction. In the legislative bodies, its major employer exporter since 1965, and its oil revenue per capita has increased tenfold since 35 years. Yet, about 133 million Nigerians suffer from multidimensional poverty. 34.4 suffer from deprivation in health, 17.9 suffer deprivation in education, 33.6 suffer deprivation in standard of living, and unemployment has reached in 2022 to 33.3%. Despite the increasing cost of crude oil in international markets, the total public debt stock of
Nigeria as of 2022 was 44.06 trillion naira. It is important to also know that between January and November 2022, government spent about 5.24 trillion to service our debt. The sum of 112.9 billion naira was used to conduct general election in Nigeria in 2011 by INEC, 242 billion in 2019, and 2023 they used 305 billion. Despite the cost of election in Nigeria, it is still full of rigging, destruction of property, and litigation. Nigeria is endowed with mass agricultural land. We are blessed with good climate, good water, good sunshine. Despite these, in the first half of 2022, Nigeria imported a big goods worth 907.8 billion as against export value 343.4 billion, which represented a big deficit, a big trade deficit of 564.4 billion naira. Furthermore, Nigeria is one of the highest producer of oil in Africa, 13th in the world, while NNPC has 4 refineries. Yet, the country spent about 948.758 billion to import PMS, which is petrol, in the second quarter of 2022, compared with 799.179 billion spent in the same period in 2021. At present, Nigeria has about 170 universities, 152 colleges of education, 159 polytechnics, 159 colleges of health technology, including, I didn't add the recent 37 that has just been approved. Yet, we spend about $695 million, not naira, on foreign education between January and September 2022. What a paradox. Also, between 2020 and 2022, the number of Nigerian students issued visas to the United Kingdom were, in 2020, 8,229 students. In 2021, 36,783 students. And in 2022, 65,927 students. Probably that is why they said, as from January, don't come with your family again. The foregoing notwithstanding, there are virtually few or no foreign staff or students in Nigeria, very many universities. Do we start when we go teaching in our university? I'm sure the answer is no. My contributions to knowledge. I'll just summarize it by saying that my contributions to knowledge are in the areas of development economics and applied econometrics. Specifically, I've contributed in the area of poverty-related studies, intersectoral linkages and economic growth, corruption-related studies, human capital development, and health economics. See page 7 of the lecture booklet. They are all highlighted there. Acknowledgements. Madam Vice Chancellor, you are a complete definition of what leadership entails. You exhibit an unparalleled magnanimity in your leadership style. Let me seize this opportunity to thank you for the infrastructural development in Unilever under your watch. From the carrying and carrying of roads, to the fixing and repair of streetlights, renovation of buildings, and still counting. I am most grateful to find me worthy to be appointed as the Dean of Students, University of Benin. And therefore, be part of your success story. I thank you with the whole of my heart for believing in me. Remain blessed with your household in Jesus' name. Also, we will run the DBCs. The DBC administration, Professor Mrs. C. Uboma. Whenever you say, I tell her, thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to appreciate Professor R.O.I. Ozora. I used to say, Prof. Sir, activist, why did you not study literature? Because for every quote, for every chemistry, for every pharmacy is built, he must put Julius Caesar quotes. Professor Bia in the DBC Atewe, God bless you, sir. It's always calm. You are all wonderful. May God bless you all. My appreciation also goes to the registrar of the university, Mr. Ademola Bobola, presented by Pastor Monday Uye. God bless you also. This acknowledgement of the principal officers will not be complete if I do not mention the man that reads all the books in this world. The Liberian, Professor Luke Obasui. I want to be getting my salaries every month. Therefore, Dr. V.U. Emmanuel Boxer, God bless you. I also appreciate independent DVCs, Professor M.A. and Professor Mrs. A.I. Osama, DVC admin. Professor D.N. Izeko, God bless you, sir, former DVC academic. And Professor D.U. Ogene, DVC Ekewa, may God bless all of you. My departmental colleagues that are retired, Professor M.A. Yoa, the Yale scholar. Professor S.N. Oko, the American scholar, the economic historian, and Professor Mrs. C.E.E. Okoti. God bless you. I also want to appreciate Professor M.R. Obada, the unassuming professor. He is a non-executive director of CBN and the chairman chief executive Goldmark Education Center. He is on a monetary assets. He is in Abuja now. He just finished our monetary policy meeting. Thank you, sir. And importantly, I also want to appreciate Mr. A.P. Okodua among others. I appreciate you all for teaching me at different levels. God bless you all. I want to appreciate my senior colleagues in the department. Professor S.E. Edo, thank you very much. Let me quickly say this. He was the one that first introduced the issue of inaugural lecture to me. Prof, you remember when Professor Oaikena finished his inaugural, I said, Clement, Oaikena or Professor Mrs. Ayewe, one of them, said, Clement, you are the next, and it has come to fruitful. God bless you, sir. I also want to appreciate Professor R.I. Obekuna, Professor M.A. Ayewe, my second project supervisor, PhD supervisor. God bless you. Others, Professor H.E. Oekena, Professor D. Oriaki. Professor D. Oriaki, are you here? I saw him here. Yes, he was the one who said, let me quote him, Clement, God bless you. God bless you, sir. He encouraged me to come to me. I also want to appreciate Professor Tony Moye, Professor Mrs. B. Kami Zile, and Professor S.A. My colleagues in the Department of Economics, my HOD, Dr. Ighodaro, ABA-IGB. God bless you, sir. I also want to appreciate my exam officer, Professor Arokoye, Success, in fact, all the staff of the Economics Department. God bless you all. I want to also thank Inaugural, Mrs. Orehen, all of you for taking time to work with me. You made my story as HOD to be very successful and an enviable one. God bless you. The staff of Student Affairs Division, the Assistant Dean, Assistant Dean, Student Affairs, Dr. Emmanuel Imariado. I also want to thank the PARO, Mr. Omere, Nico, my secretary. Thank you very much. Dr. Diego, the travel, Mr. Bato, God bless you. Mrs. Imande, you are wonderful. Christopher Akoma, my PA, God bless you. And most importantly, my Mr. Chooks, they call him the pilot. Pilot A, God bless you. Staff of the Faculty of Social Sciences and other faculties, Professor Samoni, God bless you, sir. Professor Mo Wadiani, God bless you, sir. I will also call again, Dr. All of you present here, God bless all of you. My favorite students, and as one of my students here, Dr. Obeko, all of you, God bless all of you. Members, Professor Chairman, Engineers of Varsity, God bless you. Please stand up for recognition. God bless you, sir. I want to also appreciate my 96 Ighodaro classmates, ACP retired of Bako, Ray Boybe, Alfredo Kubeni, Alaji Abu, Kayode Matli, and so on and so forth. God bless you all. My childhood friends, Siria Debama, Gabriel Imate, Frank Edebo, Kenneth Imariabe, God bless you, and all of you are here. I will not my best of my friends and colleagues, my natural friends,
for the two technical guys. Okay, this is one.
God bless you. My leader friends, Professor Atileye, Professor Okoman, Professor Dr. Wakubu, and Dr. Odion. My family members, if I begin to list their names, we will not live here today. But most importantly, I want my mama to stand up for recognition. Of 10 children. Reverend Ude, Mrs. Oyomi, and so, in fact, Bawosa, you see you there, God bless us. Dr. Yamu, the consultant, God bless you. The entire students of University of Benin, you are wonderful. God bless all of you. The student union leader is led by Israel Wode, aka Siani. God bless you. But my home front, I thank my beloved twin children, Osafona and Osafame. They are there. I thank God for your life. They are not of students and they are of God. I believe and I know you are completely proud. My beloved wife, my beloved wife. She's a great builder, wonderfully endowed, and a woman of faith. I love you and we love you forever. Recommendation: there's need for final implementation. Removal of 50 clause from the Constitution. Make political offices less economically attractive, and of course, it is important to protect whistle laws. In conclusion, so many people have died as a result of ethnic corruption in Nigeria. Too many people are poor. Too many people are unable to fulfill their potentials. Too many families are being destroyed. If it was reduced to eradicate corruption from Nigeria, in order to achieve sustainable economic growth and development, it must start from the ruling class. Finally, Madam Vice
Professor Ray Ozola, to give a recap of today's lecture. It is okay to put your hands together as a walk to the microphone.
I think we can do the locomotive applause for the lecturer. Thank you very much, everyone. I think we have all been educated. We have all been moralized as well. Distinguished audience, let me ask the question rhetorically. And the question is this. Ever seen a country as endowed as Nigeria? How many countries in this world are as endowed as Nigeria? Certainly not many. Because we are rich in human and natural resources. But what do we have today? The lecturer has told us that Nigeria is low on Human Development Index, HDI. He has told us that Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, even if he didn't capture it the way I have said it. He said to us that life expectancy is low compared to what you have in some countries. And I can add my own. Infant mortality is high. And so on and so forth. Our sanitation is among the worst in the world. He probably didn't say this, but we know so. Because we score very high in open field defecation. And that has caused our poor sanitation. With this very low score, ladies and gentlemen, one would then think that we should be in haste to change the negative indices, the narrative. But what do we find? We progress at the speed of the slave. We embrace vices that keep us permanently down. One of such vices, he tells us, is corruption. Therein lies the paradox of a failing to try nation that refuses to overcome its inertia, in my opinion. The lecture has moralized us. I think that we will not get out of the corruption trap until every one of us here seated realizes that the best form of wealth is the commonwealth. In other words, however well fed I am, however rich I am, if the people around me are hungry, miserably, abjectly poor, I am not safe. So until we come to that realization, we will not need this corruption trap. So you point a finger somewhere or to somebody who you think is corrupt, perhaps more fingers are pointing at you. So for me, it is that wherever we find ourselves, let us do that which is right. Be courageous enough to do do that which is right. The lecturer has said, through his area of research, showed us the yawning gaps in our developmental quest, and he has also told us by his recommendations how to fill these gaps. Well, in my reckoning, and I think in your reckoning as well, he is indeed a professor of development and applied econometrics. So, join me on behalf of our Vice Chancellor to stamp on him this day, distinguished professor of development and applied economics of the University of Benin. Please let us together give him another round of doctoral applause.
Vice Chancellor will now decorate the inaugural lecturer. Please respectfully ask the spouse, children, and immediate family members to please come up stage to join in the photograph. Members of the immediate family only. Wife, spouse, Mama, please come. The mother of the inaugural lecturer, please come. At the end of this event, please come on stage with a proof of ownership to collect the item. We want to welcome everyone very specially to this 279th inaugural lecture in the inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. We welcome you all very specially and we thank you for being here. We want to welcome very specially and recognize the spouse of today's inaugural lecturer, Dr. Ighodaro. We welcome you, Osafona Ighodaro. We welcome you, Osafame Ighodaro. Please, it's okay to put our hands together to celebrate this person. We also welcome you, the mother of the inaugural lecturer, Mrs. Patricia Ighodaro. We welcome all professors, all scholars, all staff, well-wishers, friends of today's inaugural lecturer. We want to say we welcome you very specially and we recognize your presence, Professor Emeritus T.O.K. Audu. Please let's put our hands together to celebrate our prof. We welcome you very specially, the immediate past Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor David Izeko. We welcome you very specially, sir. We welcome you, Professor Mrs. M.O. Kadiri. We appreciate your presence, Professor S.C. Orobato. We welcome you, Professor Chimuba Okafo. We welcome you very specially, Professor Christiana Okoji. Please can we put our hands together to celebrate this presence? Thank you. Venerable Professor Paul Wadiani, we welcome you, sir. We welcome you, Professor Ofiafo Eya. We welcome you, Professor Dixon Oriaki. We welcome the Uniben orator, Professor Mike Omoyurale. We welcome, sir. We welcome the UAP chairman, Professor Eki Ogre. We welcome you, Dr. Stephen Obeki, Acting Director, Alumni Relations. We welcome you, Professor Inomania, Director, Energy Center, University of Benin. We welcome you, Professor Mrs. Ijoma Obo. You're very much welcome, Professor Vincent Iyawe. And we are pleased to have you here, Mrs. Doris Ighodaro, Mrs. Faith Ighodaro, Mrs. Cynthia Ighodaro, Kelvin Ighodaro, we welcome you. We welcome the Economics and Statistics graduating class 1995 and 1996. We welcome all former classmates of the inaugural lecturer of the Immaculate Conception College, Benin City. We want to thank you for coming and we appreciate your presence. This is how we conclude the 279th inaugural lecture in the inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. Please, I crave your indulgence as the Vice Chancellor will step out of the auditorium with other principal officers alongside deans and directors, and of course the provost of the college. Please remain where you are. Principal officers, the provost, the deans, and the director take their exit from the auditorium. Uduka Kennedy Agoma, please come with proof of ownership for the missing but found out.